What's up, people, fans of the Snowboard Project? This is Mark Sullivan, your host, and just wanted to do a quick live stream. Still drinking coffee here in Idaho. We got a little bit of snow coming down as we speak right now, so winter is coming. But just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Snowboard Project. This past week, we had Andrew Hardingham and Andy Wright. And so those are two pretty interesting episodes of the Snowboard Project. But I also wanted to tell you a little bit about what we got coming up. You got Ash there. Oh, man. California is crazy, man. I went to Johnny B's house in Paradise, California, around like 93, 94. And Johnny B is from Paradise, California. And, completely devastated. Like 7,000 buildings burned out of 24,000 people from the town. It's basically like if you have 3 or 4 people per household, it's like the whole town burned down. So, thoughts and prayers out to Paradise, California, to Johnny B, his family and friends, and all those people who are suffering in Malibu, all over California, really, because of these wildfires that are ravaging the community in SoCal, and then up in the middle of California as well, Sonoma, or that area. I'm not really sure on the geography of California. Anyhow, wanted to tell you a little bit about what we have coming up, and I'm gonna let you guys know some insider stuff here. I'll let you know our TBD. Okay, he lives in Grass Valley now. That's cool. So Johnny B is no longer in Paradise. I know his parents were there, so that's good to know. But I wanted to let you guys know also what's coming up this week on the Snowboard Project. We got some heavy hitting interviews this week, heavy hitting. So this week we're going to have Nate Holland, 7 times X Games champion, and he tells some wild stories. And then also Dave Schreiber, who used to run the marketing for a little brand called Nike. And so that's a really interesting conversation as well. One of my favorite interviews to date is Dave Schreiber. So we got that one. And then, the following week, which will be Thanksgiving week, that's 2 weeks from now, we're going to have Chuck McLean, Dig My Quiver. I'm a big fan of the Dig My Quiver crew and their dedication to the sport of snowboarding. And so I did a little interview with Chuck a while ago. He also designed our Flight Week board. And so that's pretty cool. And then also our TBD. And it looks like our TBD is going to be Torgeir Bergrum. And I'll talk to him about the Switchback 5 method, going to the Olympics. Talk to him about winning the Norwegian Rider of the Year. But that'll be, I think, our TBD. Also, coming up, I've been talking to Terrier. I've been talking to Danny Davis's people. I've been talking to... George. George is freaking out right now. Hey, George, I'm going live right now. Come on, George. Come here, George. Sorry about that, folks. So anyhow, that'll be our TBD. Will be Torgeir, and then we're gonna finish out November with Kurt Heine and Steve Nielsen Sticks, who did Red Bull marketing and PBR marketing for years. And so that was a pretty cool interview as well. Some great advice from Sticks. Great interview with Kurt Heine. Torgeir, I actually haven't done that interview yet, but I've been talking to him, and we're going to talk this week. I'll be recording that interview here this week. Chuck McLean. And then next week, on Wednesday, we'll have Nate Holland. And on Friday, Dave Schreiber. So that's kind of what we have coming up in the next couple of weeks for the month of November. Also have the December schedule hammered out already. Looks like we're going to be doing another, let's see how many episodes. And so coming up in December, you're going to have the Dingo, you're going to have Mike Arzt, Ira, Trond, Danny Davis, it looks like, Iztok, the judge from the Olympics and the X Games and Grand Prix and World Cups. Talk to him. Ryan Coulter, who runs the James Brand Knives, Steve Fisher, Stevie Bell, Jeff Galbraith, Mike Chantry, all coming up in the month of December. But coming up next week, we got Nate Holland and Dave Schreiber. Nate Holland, of course, 7 times X Games champion. Dave Schreiber, the guy who ran the marketing at a little brand called Nike. Then we got Chuck McLean and Torgeir Bergram coming up for Thanksgiving week. And then the last week of November, we're going to have Kurt Heine, the filmer for MacDog, and Styx, Steve Nielsen, who ran the marketing for Red Bull and for PBR. So that was a pretty cool interview as well. So let's see who we have online right now. Let's see if I can join someone in. I'm gonna see if I can add Daniel Clark in here. Been paying attention this whole time, so we'll see if Daniel joins in or not. Adam Anderton, here's your board right here. I got to send this to you. I've been meaning to get this in the mail. Adam Anderton, thanks for tuning in. There's your board right there. I still got it sitting here. It's definitely making its way. Hey, Dan.
How's it going?
It's going great. I'm just here at Hill right now. Went over to the sale from the picked up a brand new find for 40.
Nice.
That was pretty cool. The boards are there, 80% stuff. Maybe we'll talk about that. Flesh out your a little more.
See if I can hear you a little better now.
Yeah, I was getting some feedback there.
Yeah, there we go.
So what's going on in Alaska?
I'm down remote on the Alaska Peninsula right now. Chilly, but not a lot of snow down here, down south central. But up the Alaska range is getting pretty good right now, though.
So are you in like an oil field right now? You work in the oil fields, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So so what like living and working in the oil fields?
Well, I work 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and it affords me a lot of time to play up here in Alaska, fishing, hunting, snowboarding. So I enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I follow your adventures. You know, you guys are like pretty much riding all the time, and you go on some pretty cool little expeditions around your area. What's it like though, being like a family guy and then working 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off? I've thought on one side that would be like you know, a real gift. On the other side, it's like being away for 2 weeks at a stretch is a pretty tough bit as well.
Well, it's exactly that. When I'm at home, I have all day, every day with the family, which is great. You know, if you look at a month time, I probably spend more time with my family than somebody that works 9 to 5, you know, have kids go to bed at 7 after you pick them up, you know, after work or whatnot. So that's great. But yeah, when I'm gone, I'm gone. But last few years with FaceTime and everything else, I get to see them every day. So it's pretty good.
Cool. So what is your role in the oil field? Like, what do you do like on a day-to-day basis when you're on your 2 weeks on?
Sure. Yep. So I'm the field production superintendent for a privately held oil and gas company, and we have about 5 fields all across Alaska. So I help manage all the fields down around the Cook Inlet. So
okay. Learned to like be like a manager of an oil field. Where did you go to school for that?
Yeah.
Did you just learn? How'd you learn that?
Yeah, the University of Alaska Fairbanks. I went to school. I started out as a mechanical engineer, and I had a buddy that was doing the petroleum engineering program, and he said, "Hey, this is where the money's at, and come check it out." So I went over, took some classes, and liked it, and from there it was just finishing up school. Traveled to Paris a handful of times for training. Did some work on the North Slope of Alaska, and just kind of bounced around.
You ever been to like the Middle East?
No.
Their oil fields? Do you like go on vacation to different oil fields around the world? And you're like, yeah, our Alaskan oil fields kick ass on these ones. Dubai.
Yeah. So when I was working at Schlumberger, we had the opportunity to go anywhere, basically. So I had friends that went to Dubai, all the way to places like Algeria, just everywhere there's oil. So the opportunity was there, but I've always had a family and didn't want to do that. So stayed in Alaska as best I could.
Right. Cool. So now I've seen photos from Clyde Hewitt, who's like in your kind of area.
Yep.
People riding powder, people like sledding, people riding powder. What are the snow conditions in Alaska like right now?
So the only spot that I know of where the snow's that good is where me and Nick have gone last few times, and that's that Eastern Alaskan range up by Summit. And
Hmm.
the last few times we've gone on foot because the snow wasn't all the way down to where you could park. And so we went on foot and we'd go up and then we'd split board as soon as we hit snow. And yeah, we're getting passed by people riding their sleds on the trail, dirt trail to get up there. And
Really?
but you get a few miles back and yeah, it's 3-4 feet deep right now.
So you were split boarding, like your approach was 3 or 4 miles?
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 miles on foot to get up to that snow mark, just on trail and tundra, and then split board from there.
Okay.
Yep.
That's cool. So were you taking your UTV up there, like to the trailhead, or how would you
We didn't
approach?
this last time because there was a dusting of snow low, and it would have been a little sketchy climbing some of those trails with a dusting of snow on that side by side. But yeah, during the
Right.
summer, kind of in the Central Alaskan range, we took the side by side a few times out for that. Which is, you get funny looks when you're 20 miles back on a side by side in the middle of July with snowboard strapped to the back.
Right.
But it was
Yeah,
really fun.
normally there'd be some guns strapped to the back or something like
Yep.
that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So what is the light like in Alaska right now? Because you guys are going into the dark right now, aren't you? Or starting
Yeah.
the
Yeah, it's getting pretty dark. I'll lie to you, it's getting light, maybe 9 o'clock in the morning, and geez, I haven't been really paying attention. 6 or something at night, but
hmm
and it depends too.
So
Like,
another so
yeah, Fairbanks is getting a little darker more than it is down here in the South Central.
yeah. So like, what are the temperatures in Fairbanks right now?
The coldest I've seen this winter is 10 below. It really hasn't held that, but one day when I was at home last hitch, it was 10 below, and then kind of um, maybe less than 20, 0 to 20.
Right. And that's like what, October? It's 0 to 20, maybe 10 below in October in
Yeah.
Fairbanks. 10 below ambient temperature in Fahrenheit.
Yep.
It's cold in Fairbanks on a whole different scale than most places in the world.
Yep, for sure.
But you can always dress for the cold, I guess.
Yeah, it's true. We had a real cold snap, I think last year or the year before, and I was like, you know what? I want to go snowboard. It was 44 below. And so me and Nick went out, and I wanted to go snowboard at 44 below. And by the time we drove all the way up, back up the hills, because the inversion in the temperature was only like 17 below when I got up top to snowboard. So down in the sump in the valley, it was 44, and back up in the hills north of town, it was 17 below. So
A balmy 17 below. Do you have to like buy special gear to stay warm
no,
in those conditions?
just layer up.
Just layer up.
Yeah.
Couple of long johns.
Yep. Yeah, log johns, some good mid layers, and then yeah.
Now you
gear.
got a beard. Do you wear a face mask too? Cover your nose? Oh, losing him. Well, looks like Dan Clark just seized up in the eliminate Dan. And yeah, we're just sitting here, and I'm just looking at, yeah, just kind of telling you guys about the Snowboard Project. I was talking to Dan Clark. He is a guy who's been going to Tailgate. That's how I know Dan, but he works the oil fields in Alaska, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. You can watch this video again if you want to hear that little interview. I thought that was pretty interesting, though. Really fascinating lifestyle. This 2 week, two on, two off kind of deal that these guys work in Alaska. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, let's give you a little rundown one more time about the Snowboard Project. Once again, we had Andy Hardingham and Andy Wright last week. We're having a pretty good November right now. We started November with Mike Patera. Then we had a Real Talk, Andy Hardingham, Andy Wright, who's like the longest running and most published photographer for Trans World. Next week, we're going to have Nate Holland. He's got a pretty crazy story there. He's won the X Games 7 times. So we have a nice conversation. And I talked to Dave Schreiber, who ran the marketing for Nike. And that'll be on Friday of next week. Then Thanksgiving week, we're going to have, excuse me, we're going to have Chuck McLean Thanksgiving week. And we'll have a Real Talk on Monday. And then we're going to have we're going to have Torgeir Bergram, who did the Switchback 5 to Method. I'll be talking and interviewing him this week. He's in Switzerland right now. Actually, he's in Stubai, so he's in Austria right now, but I'll be talking to him this week and interviewing Torgeir for Black Friday. That'll be a cool episode, and now we're lining up some bigger, heavy-hitting guys for the podcast. Guys like, a little guy named Terry Hawkinson. He wants to come on. Danny Davis wants to come on. Red Gerard wants to come on. We're going to have some heavy hitters coming up at the Snowboard Project. But just want to tell you guys about that was Beef calling me. Yeah, I'm in a live chat, Beef. Don't call me while I'm in live. So anyhow, I'll just do this one more time. Let you guys know about our month of November. We had Batera on the 2nd. Then we had a Real Talk, Andy Hardingham, Andy Wright. Next week, we're going to have a Real Talk on Monday. Then we're going to have Nate Holland, X Games champion, and then Dave Schreiber. Dave Schreiber ran the marketing of Burton. Following week, we're going to have Chuck McLean, who started Dig My Quiver. And I have a lot of respect for those guys and their contribution and their dedication to the sport of snowboarding. So I really love that community, and I'm a board collector as well. So there you go. And then we're also going to have Torgeir Bergrum, current guy who did the Switchback 5 to Method, broke the internet. And we're going to have Torgeir on Black Friday. And then we're going to finish out the month with Kurt Heine, the filmer for MacDog, and Styx, the guy who ran the marketing for Red Bull and PBR. So that's how we're going to finish out our month of November. And then December, we got, we're going to do, I was thinking about doing the 12 days of Christmas, 12 days in a row of interviews. I was planning on doing 5 interviews a week, but I don't think you guys actually have time to listen to all the interviews that we're doing. And so therefore, I think that it might be a little bit of overkill to do that many interviews. So let's I'm going to try to join in someone else. I'm going to try to join in Adam Anderton because his board is right there. I haven't sent it to him yet, but I was away for a couple of weeks. I was going to send it before I went out of town, and we'll see if Adam, no, he declined the invitation, not in a good spot apparently to join in. But anyhow, we're going to have a big month in December as well. You know, Danny Davis, Mike Chantry, Jeff Galbraith, Stevie Bell, Ryan Coulter, Istok will be in December. Also, Tron Deeb, guy who runs the Norwegian Arctic Research Station in Antarctica. Did an interview with him. That's a cool interview. That'll be coming up in December, Christmas week. Also, the Dingo from Danny and the Dingo fame. Now does Find Your Grind. He does NASCAR. He does all sorts of stuff in Hollywood. So Dingo will be coming up. And then this guy, Ira Myberger. We're going to do an interview. I already did an interview with him, but he's a guy who's like 70 years old, goes to Alaska every year. And it's a cool interview because it's like, it just shows that you don't need to be like on the cutting edge of the sport to ride Alaska. And this guy's like 70 and he's doing some of the gnarliest runs in the world at the age of 70. That's Ira. So that'll be coming up in December as well. Chantry, that'll be coming up in December. So yeah, we got a big week next week with Nate Holland and Dave Schreiber. And then Chuck McLean and Torgeir Bergrum for Thanksgiving week. And then Kurt Heine and Styx. That's going to round out our month. And also, please, guys, if you haven't yet, please rate us. Please review us. Everything helps. Everything helps, you know. So go to iTunes, go to Spotify, rate us, review us, subscribe. Tell your friends about the Snowboard Project. We're just getting things started here. And we're growing pretty well. Actually, every month we grow significantly. So we're really pleased with how well we're doing. We're just number 3 on the Canadian charts due to the fact that Andrew Hardingham was on this week, and he's got a big fan base in Canada, but also they like their Real Talk. That charted pretty well in Canada. Also on the charts in places like Latvia and Sweden, Australia, all over the world. So people all over the world tuning into the Snowboard Project. So please tell your friends about the Snowboard Project. Tune in, tell your friends, rate, review, subscribe. My name is Mark Sullivan. If you guys got any questions, email me, mark@thesnowboardproject.com. And thank you guys for tuning in to this live feed. And once again, we're going to have a great month this month. Month of December is looking good too. And we got a lot more planned. So we're just getting started, folks. Oh, yeah, one more announcement, final announcement before I finish this one. we're going to start doing our Real Talks on video as well. That's a new announcement as well. First, that's premiering right now. So we're going to actually start filming. Probably not this week, probably not this Monday, but a week from Monday, we're going to start filming and posting videos of our Real Talks, because we do those live on the spot, and you'll be able to tune in and watch those on YouTube and on Patreon. Also, folks, go to patreon.com/the Snowboard Project and donate or leave comments or whatever. We'd like your feedback. We love to support the sport of snowboarding. And Tetons open up on Friday with Grand Targhee opening lifts. I might have to take a road trip. That's the beauty of living here in Idaho. You're close to Grand Targhee, so maybe I'll make a road trip over to Targhee for next weekend's opening day. I was going to go maybe to Mammoth for opening day down there. That was canceled. It was supposed to be on Thursday, and I was going to go there, but maybe I'll go to Targhee, go the other direction. I have to interview the Gooch, and I have to interview Willie McMillan and Trace as well over in Jackson. Got some other interviews to do in Jackson, but those are ones I will be doing in person. So anyhow, folks, thanks for tuning in. This is the Snowboard Project. I'm Mark Sullivan, your host. Please feel free to email me, mark@thesnowboardproject.com. Thank you for all of our supporters on patreon.com/thesnowboardproject. And thank you for rating us, reviewing us, and tuning in and telling your friends about the Snowboard Project. You guys have a great weekend. Bye-bye.